service. What is up, listeners? Welcome back to the Full Service Podcast. I am Tank Smith, your host, coming at you on a Tuesday again. I know my last episode dropped was a Thursday. We are back on Tuesday. Welcome. It's episode 31. Oh my God, who knew we'd make it to 31? I knew we'd make it. I appreciate y'all being here. Shout out to my guests from last week. If you've not checked out those episodes, give them a listen. My guest on Tuesday was Elena Pierre. My guest on Thursday, Brian Knight. If you have not given them a follow, go ahead and do that. Elena's Instagram and Twitter is VIP Elena Pierre, and Brian's is Brian Knight66. There are links to both of their social medias on the Libsyn pages for their episodes, so make sure you go to the Libsyn pages. Give them a follow. While you're there, while you're on your Instagram and Twitter, oh boy, we got an Instagram, we got a Twitter at Full Service Pod. My personal Instagram and Twitter at Tank Funkadelic. Give me a follow as well. Today's a solo episode. Today I got no guest for you. It's just me talking into this mic. If you're hearing this and you're like, fuck! I didn't want to hear that today. I wanted to hear an interview. Well, oh boy, I said at the end of the last episode, it's a solo. I haven't done it in a while, so I feel like I gotta talk to the people. The last solo episode I did, I guess it was like 3 weeks ago, so it came out on March 24th. I feel like a lot of stuff's changed since then. It's been a wild ride. It's only been 3 weeks. At that point, that was episode 26, episode 26. So it was like right at the 6-month mark of us doing this podcast, and we've had a few listeners. I feel like joined the Full Service bandwagon since that point. So fucking welcome. If this is your first episode, listen to the podcast. Hey, yo, stop, go back, listen to another one, then come back, hit us next week. Well, I got an interview for you, but no, if you're new to the podcast, welcome. I appreciate you listening. Hey, subscribe. Oh, we're on YouTube now. We're on YouTube. We're on wherever you listen to podcasts. Just subscribe. If you could write us a review. That'd be beautiful. That'd really make my day. And it'd probably make my month. Just one review. I'm like, whew, I was about to end it all, but nah, yeah, the review really helped. Well, no, if you're new, fucking welcome. If you've been rocking with us since the beginning for a while, fucking, hey, thanks for being here. It's a pandemic's happening. There's still a podcast going on. Hey, you could be doing lots of other things right now, like sleeping maybe, or just whatever else people do. I've been doing a lot of sleeping. That's been the pandemic regimen for old Tank. Sleeping. I feel like I've been breaking it up into weeks. I feel like week one, I'd say was lots of Pinot Grigio. Week one was heavy Pinot Grigio week. Week two, turned it up, went blunts and vodka. Lots of that. And week three has just been blunts and Skyrim. I feel like I'm on a steady decline to where it's going to be just like Skyrim and something else. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. But I appreciate you being here. Yeah, last episode was March 24th, 3 weeks ago. Since then, I've lost my job. That's been a cool thing that's been happening. So I released the I guess last solo was the 24th, and then my last day at work was the 26th. But I've been working from home for a couple of weeks before that happened, and there was really nothing for us to do working from home. And I feel like the business was just already not going well. The company I worked for, we sold hard drives for servers basically. And then also did maintenance on servers or whatever, but it was all third party, so we didn't really do anything. We just sold shit. And the business wasn't going well because here's how I know, because they took the ping pong table out of the sales office, to try to teach them a lesson, to try to make them do better, I guess. They the CEO, he couldn't be direct and be hey, y'all really need to get y'all shit together. He's we're taking away the ping pong table. So they took away the ping pong table, and then coronavirus hit, and I was it's only a matter of time before they're we don't really need all the people that really work here. So that's what happened. My boss called me on a Thursday, and it was he called me at 7 o'clock, and I saw the phone ring. I'm why the fuck? He's calling me kind of late. I'm what the fuck? So he called me, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm good." I'm like, "How are you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not really doing that good." I'm like, "What the fuck, bro?" I'm like thinking, I'm like, "Dude, this dude that has diabetes, like, is something is like, is it bad? What's what's going on?" He's like, "Are you sitting down right now?" And I'm like, "Am I sitting down? Are you sitting? What's going on?" He's like, "I just so I talked to the CEO, and we got to eliminate some positions. There's not enough room." Since I was the newest person, I'm like, well, I'm going out. So he told me, and I was like, well, it's been fun. But then I realized at that moment, I'm like, I still have we have Better Book Club in my work. I don't know if you know what it is, but it's basically, there's like a list of books you can read and then like write up a little report, and then you get like money from Amazon. It's a scheme. I don't really get it. But I guess he called me like 7, and then I submitted a Better Book Club report like an hour later for a Malcolm Gladwell book that I listened to like a couple years ago, and then I got the $100. So fuck them. But no, I'm it feels weirdly like a come up right now though, because they're like, okay, we're gonna pay you through April, and so I'm getting paid through April, and then I just got my tax return money back, and I guess we're getting this like $1,200, and I can file for unemployment. So I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? This is amazing. I mean, I guess it's good right now, but we'll see what happens in a couple months. But the upside too is like I don't have to do stand up for the sales team anymore. I probably like right before the corona hit, like, and everybody was at the office. I was in the break room with a couple people on the sales team, and a dude asked me, he's like, "Hey, how was your weekend? What'd you do?" And I couldn't think of anything. I was like, "Oh, well, I did have a show, in Canton this past weekend. There was like fucking like over 100 people there. It was a good time." I'm like, "Why not just share that with this person at my work, and I was like, yeah, well, I went to a stand up show, and he's like, "Oh, nice. What kind of stand? Like, who was it?" And I was like, "Oh, it was like me and like a couple of my buddies. Like I do stand up." And he's like, "Oh shit, dude." He's like, "How long you been doing?" I'm like, "Oh, it's like be like 5 years." Then at that point, I'm like, I gotta exit this conversation as soon as possible, because if he keeps talking, other people are gonna hear, and then I'm like, I don't want to do stand up for anybody at work. That is, that's not an ideal scenario. Like doing stand up for your friends and a not stand up, not even for your friends, but just like for people in a not stand up scenario is just not. It doesn't work, and it. Just like at an office, like, "Oh, hey, let me tell you these jokes, and then we'll just go back to doing work." It doesn't really work like that. I feel like the best joke I could have told them would just be to show them my paycheck. I'll show the salespeople my paycheck, and then they're like, that is, you don't have to tell us any jokes. That's fucking hilarious. Like, you don't get paid. You don't get paid shit, bro." But I did not. So so he keeps talking, and then after a couple minutes, he's like, "Dude, we got a sales meeting like next week. Why don't you do like maybe like you think you want to do like 10 minutes like for the sales team?" And I'm like, I definitely don't want to do that. That sounds like the worst possible thing I could envision. And then Corona hit, and I don't have a job, so no more stand up for the sales team. Beautiful. I feel like everything. This whole thing has really worked in my favor. Except now I don't have health insurance. But who needs health insurance when you're got the blood of Jesus protected you? He he'll protect me. I hope. We'll see. I keep messing with him on Twitter, so I don't know if Jesus really likes that, but I feel like Jesus has the good jokes. I feel like no one gets crucified and then's like can't laugh at themselves. I feel like you have to find humor in life, especially when you get fucking like really fucked up like that. What am I doing? 10 minutes, 10 minutes in the podcast. How y'all feeling? Y'all having a good day? I'm having a good. I'm recording. Yeah, like I said on Monday. I'm always a procrastinator. I'm always like, you know what? I'm gonna record on Saturday, so I get this done. Saturday comes around. I did not record. Sunday comes around. I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling good. It's Easter. I'm a little drunk. I had a little bit of vodka. I had a little bit of fruit punch. I'm feeling real good. It didn't happen. So today's Monday, so podcast comes out basically at midnight. So you boys got to record. I put up a Twitter poll. If you're not following us on Twitter, I feel like y'all need to be following us on Twitter. I put up a Twitter poll. I was like, so if you're listening to the podcast, who are you? Are you a potential client or a current client? Are you a sex worker? Or are you neither? Are you my parents? Those were the choices for the Twitter poll. 44%, 18 people. 41 people replied to the poll in total. 18 people said that they were a client or potential client. 17 people, 41%, said that they were a sex worker. 5 responses said neither. And I had 1 response from my parents. Apparently, my parents now know about the podcast. They have not brought it up to me, but they obviously responded to the Twitter poll. So, really, I guess I don't really have to. This is nice knowing that they know about the podcast. But no, it's been a crazy couple weeks. Yeah, I lost my job, which I guess is a positive. I put all the episodes onto YouTube, so subscribe on YouTube. Search Full Service Podcast. Search Full Service with Tank Smith. You will see us there. Subscribe. John Prine passed away. That was sad. I go out in public. I'm in Georgia. There's like a stay at home order, I guess, for the next like couple weeks, I guess. But every time I go out, because you can still go to the grocery store, you can still get food, and it seems like really everybody's really going about their lives as normal, except everyone's dressed like ninjas and shit, which I love. This is the best. You can dress however the fuck you want in the apocalypse. That's the part nobody talks about. Like nobody has that in the movies where someone is just like at the store in the grocery store in a bunny costume or something. You know, when I go out, I got a full face bandana, I got cowboy boots, I got a vest on. I'm looking like a fucking cowboy. You know, Party City Online is popping. You can get whatever costume you want. Have fun with it. You know. But yeah, I got the bandanas. I went to the grocery store and they just had bandanas. I was like, what grocery store has bandanas? And apparently the Food Depot has bandanas, and it's got me thinking. Like they had I got red and blue, and I'm wondering, like, say this is just a hypothetical. I know there's probably, hopefully, there's at least a few gang members that listen to this podcast. I'd hope that, you know, there's Bloods and Crips that both listen to this podcast. And this question is really for them. If you were to go to the bandana store and say you are a Crip, right? And you get to the bandana store and there are only red bandanas left. What do you do? Especially if you got sent on that run by like your whole crew, right? So say you're responsible. Your boy sent you out. He's like, hey, we need 15 blue bandanas. It's a fucking pandemic. Come back with the bandanas. This is your initiation, right? And you get to the bandana store and there's only red bandanas. What are you going to do? Are you going to, you know, get those bandanas with the understanding, hey, this is a pandemic. Sometimes we got to take chances. Sometimes we got to really protect ourselves, and then risk going back to the Crip Overlord and having red bandanas, or do you buy the red bandanas simply so that you can burn the red bandanas? You know, these are questions everyone should really be asking in the midst of a pandemic. It's crazy. I haven't done stand up since March 10th. It's been like over a month now. This is the longest I have not done stand up in like 5 years. I started in 2015, like in May, so I guess I'm coming up on like 5 years, like next month. But yeah, this is like the longest, like since starting. I got this is wild. There's been a trend in like digital comedy. I don't know if anybody on here has seen anybody on their friends list go live on Instagram, but it's perhaps one of the saddest things that I've ever seen. I've participated, and it's terrible. I've been like judging like roast battles, which if actually roast battles is one of the, like, I guess one of the best comedy forms for like this like kind of like Instagram stuff, because you do get to see like those people's like reactions when they are roasting each other live, which can be good. But doing stand up to like a screen where people like comment, ha ha ha. I don't know about that. That's not my thing. But no, I just been talking. You know, it's like, what's Dave talking about this week? Yeah, like Corona's out there. Corona's fucking. It's affected everybody. I don't have a job. There's lots of other people I'm sure listening to this podcast don't have a job. Sex workers have been affected. Any independent contractors have been affected. This fucking shit is fucked up. The COVID-19 relief for small business workers. I read a couple articles, but basically excluded sex workers uh, from the Corona bailout for small businesses, which is fucked up. I don't like. I guess I don't know. It just seems like not many people have really talked about it. I haven't even really seen it on Twitter like that. I know Jack the Stripper tweeted about it, but other than that, I haven't really seen it that much. But basically, if you go to the COVID-19 relief small business like website where you apply for a small business loan if you've been affected by basically Corona, uh, it says on the like if you it's COVID-19 relief.sba.gov, but if you go to the website, basically it says on the application, applicant does not present live performances of an indirectly more than de minimis gross revenue through the sale of products or services or the presentation of any depictions or displays of a prurient sexual nature. So basically, anybody, that's a long ass sentence. Basically, anybody in the adult entertainment industry, sex workers, if you present live performances or presentation of any depictions or displays of a prurient sexual nature, you are basically excluded from the small business relief, which is incredibly fucked up. So it's anywhere, it's basically anybody, strippers, if you own a strip club, work in basically adult entertainment, sex toys, sex shops, you are basically ineligible for small business loans. And I looked up prurient because I never heard that word. It sounds like a big word, an SAT word. And you know your boy did well on the SAT. I should know this word. Prurient. Having or encouraging an excessive interest in sexual matters. Which, what the fuck? That, okay. I feel like you could put that blanket really on anything. Prurient. So, hey, I feel like you should go out and just use that word. Just throw it around, prurient. And then they're like, prurient? That sounds like that SBA loan thing where they don't allow sex workers to get fucking loans. That's, maybe we'll spread the word that way just by using the word prurient. We'll see. Onlyfans. How y'all doing? Y'all subscribe to Onlyfans? Y'all doing that? If you are new to OnlyFans, hit me up. Let me know how it's going. I like I said, I don't have a job, and then I subscribe to probably a bunch of people. Like right before, like I get paid like usually like 15th at the end of the month. So like on the 15th, I feel like I've subscribed to a bunch of people, and then I lost my job, and I'm like logging to OnlyFans, and I'm like, I'm subscribed to 21 people right now. This feels like a lot, you know. This this feels like too many to not have a job, you know. So I had to, yeah. We'll see what happens with that. But 21 feels like a lot. It's not. I think it's like 18 now, but it's that month's almost over. But yeah, if you just joined OnlyFans, fucking let us know how it's going. If you're a dude out there and you're like, hey, how can I support people? Fucking join OnlyFans. Do that shit. There People have great prices. I don't know. Yeah, fucking subscribe to people's OnlyFans. I also read an article. I'll put a link to this article on the Libsyn page, but it's an article in the New York Times. Came out on April 10th, written by Gabriel Drolet. I feel like I'm saying that last name right. Who knows? Drolet. But she talks about basically the rise in online sex work during the coronavirus pandemic. So if she looks at a few different websites, but Cam Soda, compared to March of 2019, they've had a 37% increase in new model signups, and viewers have doubled this year. ManyVids has had a 69% increase in signups, and OnlyFans in March, they had 3.7 million people sign up, a 75% increase, and 60,000 new content creators. So so in this article she basically focuses on people that are camming on those sites and the influx of both cam models camming and new viewers, but it doesn't seem like the new viewers is really equating to more money, because it seems like a lot of the people that are viewing, maybe they're out of work as well, and they're not tipping comparatively to how it would have been, I guess, before the coronavirus pandemic. So yeah, if you're online, if you're camming on a website, let us know how it's going. I'm sure there's, with people out of work, yeah, I'm sure there are more people on the websites, and people are, I don't understand, like, I guess it's like growing up where like porn is like free for, like, it's my whole life, I'm like, it's a free thing, it's like porn, it's almost accepted, like porn is free, but fucking people shoot porn for money, and you're getting it for free. It's crazy to the idea of like, I'd want to, like, I can't pay to like jerk off or something. I don't know. But if you're enjoying fucking shit, you should be paying for it. That's how I feel. If I watch free porn, absolutely, yeah. But yeah, fucking support people. I'm a hypocrite. I like to, I try to get people to be better than I am. But I was 1 point subscribed to 21 People's OnlyFans, so fuck you. I don't know what I'm doing here. Trying to prove to essentially looking at my computer, prove to my computer that I'm better than it by supporting people. I don't know. I say it every week, but I'm like, hey, if you could leave us a review for the podcast, that'd be amazing. I've been doing it like a little over 6 months, and I feel like for a good 5.5 of those months, I was like, I don't really know how this is going for the most part. I'm like, I'll have some people that'll hit me up on Twitter like occasionally, but I'm like, for the most part, I'm like, I don't really know how this whole thing is going. There's more people that are listening to the podcast than previous months. So like every month, it keeps going up to where more people are listening to the podcast. Yet nobody is really reaching out or anything, or letting me, like, no, basically zero feedback at all throughout this whole process. So I'm like, do people like this podcast? Do they not like the podcast? Who really knows? I haven't read a review on the podcast since like January, and I know some of you guys might be like, well, obviously that's because Tank doesn't like to read out loud because of that one time in class. But that's not true. I actually do like reading out loud. I just haven't had a review for the podcast since January. I got one yesterday, though. Ooh, boy. This is such a nice review. I'm going to read this shit because this made me smile. I'm like, God damn, this is really nice. Submitted 4/12, 2020 yesterday. And I promise you, I did not write this. I don't sound like this, okay? The title, Comprehensive Look at Sex Work and Charismatic Host. I like this already. This podcast takes you behind the scenes of the elusive world of sex work in an approachable way. Full Service is a fantastic tool for learning about sex work and the interesting and down-to-earth people in the industry. There's a wide variety of handpicked guests on the show from all walks of life, so you learn something new each week. The host, Tank, seems like a great guy. He's honest, charismatic, friendly, and an excellent interviewer. Being a client himself, he speaks from a place of experience, and his vulnerability is unmatched. It's rare to find someone willing to share so much unfiltered information about themselves. It's charming and relatable. Tank is also a comedian, which adds to his presence, and his humor is a welcome addition to the show. The audio is crisp, and the show also has a consistent and engaging presence on all social media platforms. I love it when podcasts have a good social media presence so I can stay updated about the niche and what's going on with the show. In short, I'm obsessed with Full Service. Subscribe and give it a listen. God damn it. God damn it. I read that review yesterday and I was like, fucking Nona Beth, fucking, I appreciate whoever that, fucking thank you. I really appreciate that. The last review of the podcast, like I said, was like January 3rd. So I'm like, who do people like what's happening here? But I appreciate that review. And then a dude fucking we got full service really playing all over the earth. Dude hit me up, Simon in New Zealand, like a couple hours ago. He was like, "Shout out from New Zealand. I go on my daily walks in the park, and your lovely voice in my ear, getting me through this epidemic. Episode 15 and burning up the miles. 10 out of 10. God damn it, lovely voice." I say that to myself a lot, but hearing it from somebody else actually feels nice. So I really do appreciate it. Man, my goal every solo episode is to get to 30 minutes and then shut it down as quickly as possible before I keep talking too much. But no, I appreciate you being here. I know this shit's pretty crazy. This whole Corona thing. I feel like it's getting the news seems like it's more positive now than it was. I don't know if y'all been watching the news the past couple of weeks, but it seems like everything has been at DEFCON 100. We're all about to die, but I think just fucking, if you're able to not be around people, don't be around people. But we all gotta do what we gotta do. But yeah, I know I plugged a few GoFundMes in the past couple weeks for sex workers in Vegas and DC, as well as a sex worker grant for sex workers in the Bay Area. I have links to those in the Libsyn page still. At the end of last episode, I was talking to Brian, and I was like, hey, is there a way we can support sex workers during this pandemic? Is there any way we can donate? And he mentioned finding somebody online. If you have a Twitter, if you follow us on Twitter, go to my Twitter, see who I follow. I follow a lot of people. And yeah, find somebody. That's probably the best way. If you're not able to donate, if you don't want to donate to a GoFundMe, if you can find somebody on Twitter, hit them up and be like, hey, what's your Cash App? What's your Venmo? I want to fucking help. And hit them up directly and just send that money. Also, if you follow somebody on OnlyFans takes like 20% cut from whatever tip you give from whatever content that you are buying. So if you are, not to like try to circumvent OnlyFans, but if you're watching a live show, if you want to tip somebody and you know their Cash App, if you know their Venmo, fucking hit them up through that so that they're not taking that 20% cut, because 20% is a lot of money. And also OnlyFans, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but basically if you contact a sex worker on OnlyFans, let's say they're a full service sex worker outside of doing OnlyFans, if you contact them about meetups or any kind of thing, like thing that's not about buying content through that platform, they will be banned from the platform and OnlyFans will take all of their money. So if you do not fucking do that. Only hit somebody up on OnlyFans talking about OnlyFans shit. Like, hey, I want to get a video. I like this shit, but don't be like, hey, can we meet up, or try to do any kind of bookings through OnlyFans, because their account will get shut down and their money will get taken and you're gonna feel like a fucking asshole, hopefully. If you have any kind of fucking, just don't do it. Hey, don't do it. But no, I appreciate y'all being here. Like I said, it's a solo short week, baby. Only 30 minutes. I hope everybody had a good Easter, had a good Passover. We're coming at you next week. My guest, Jade Adore. She is a North Florida-based escort, writer, dancer. We recorded this, during quarantine. So we breaking rules out here, boy. To we gotta kind of keep the podcast going. But no, we we did this episode. I guess it's probably right at the end of March. So it's still new. So that'll be on Tuesday. I got another interview coming for you the week after that. I got a line of interviews. So I'm excited. The full service train gonna keep on rolling through this coronavirus bullshit. But yeah, I appreciate y'all being here. I hope everything's all right where you're at. I hope you're okay. Talk. Hit up your friends. Hit up your friends. Now is Shit sucks out here, you know. Hit up your friends, check on them. If you're fucking lonely, if you need some shit, fucking hit me up. As always, full service pod at Tank Funkadelic. Fullservicepod at gmail.com. Shoot us an email if you want to be on the podcast, if you want to hear anything talked on the podcast, if you want to share your story, fucking hit me up. But yeah, we'll be back on Tuesday. Hope everybody has a great week. Yeah, later. We're not gone yet. What up? The article I mentioned earlier, the author in the New York Times, it's Gabrielle Trolle. I don't know. I think I said Gabriel, like an angel. I'm like, I gotta rectify these wrongs in the outro. I saw a point made on Twitter. Last thing, I saw a point made on Twitter a couple months ago, and it was somebody talking about like buying drinks at a bar, and it's like if you go to a bar, you'll spend anywhere like on a drink, probably like anywhere from like $5 to like $10, right? And that drink's gone in like tops like 20 minutes. But if you buy somebody's OnlyFans for that same price, that's like a whole month. I'm like, what are you like? When you think of it like that, you're like, holy shit, like I could totally do that. So hey, do that shit. All right, I'll see y'all later. Peace. Full service.